on, somebody.
Let's get back to Eden.
Here we go, second verse.
Well, now it's time.
Now it's time.
We change our thinking.
We change our thinking.
Know our design.
Know our design.
And our Father's plan.
And our Father's plan.
At the outset of this presentation, we must first establish the fact that nutrition education has the potential in playing a significant role in ensuring food security and improving nutritional status. The following documentary will serve as an awareness agent for food security. Food security and nutrition education. Food security has been defined as access by all people at all times to enough nutritious foods for an active and healthy life. Food security includes, at a minimum, the ready availability of nutritionally adequate and safe foods, and an assured ability to acquire acceptable foods in socially acceptable ways, without resorting to emergency food supplies, scavenging, stealing, or other coping means. Food security may best be conceptualized as a goal and is most often measured by the absence or low prevalence of hunger specifically, and in a broader sense, the absence or low prevalence of unhealthy foods. In this approach, hunger, the uneasy and painful sensation caused by a lack of food, is not distinct from the condition or food insecurity, but represents the more severe form in which the condition is experienced. Hunger and food security have been identified as national priorities that, in principle, should have particular relevance for nutrition education. For instance, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has adopted the goal of increasing the prevalence of food security among U.S. households as one of the health objectives for the nation for the year of 2010. Residents of urban food deserts, typically low-income neighborhoods, have to deal with limited healthy food choices, in addition to perhaps more obvious disadvantages of life there. A food desert is generally defined as a location where residents have to travel twice as far to get to the nearest supermarket as their peers in wealthier parts of town. Diet-related illnesses such as coronary heart disease, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and even cancer are increasingly recognized as major public health problems. Research has suggested that some areas and households have easy access to fast food restaurants and convenience stores but limited access to supermarkets. So as we can see, food security is a complex sustainable development issue linked to health through malnutrition, but also to sustainable economic development, environment, and trade. These issues we will further explore.
Economics is a social science that studies economic activity to gain an understanding of the process that govern the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services in an economy. Most agricultural experts agree the root cause of food insecurity is poverty. Poverty prevents people from growing or buying food. Serving adequate to $2.25 a day, 1 out of 6 people struggle to get by on $1.25 a day. Industrialized agriculture uses synthetic, inorganic fertilizers and sewage sludge to supply plant nutrients. Organic agriculture emphasizes prevention of soil erosion and the use of organic fertilizers such as animal manure and compost, but no sewage sludge to supply plant nutrients. Producing food has major environmental impacts, which are lack of grassland for farming, drought, and topsoil erosion. If we continue to produce through industrial agriculture, our environment will sustain greater impact.
In the beginning, God created everything. In Genesis 1:29, God told Adam, "Look, I have given you every seed-bearing plant that grows on the earth and every fruit-bearing tree. They will be your food for nourishment." God loved us so much that He ensured that we had everything we needed for food and nourishment. When sin came into the picture, God felt the need to give us further instruction. In Leviticus 19:9-10, it says, "When the harvest of the crops of your land, do not harvest the grain along the edges of your field, and do not pick up what the harvesters drop. It is the same with the grape crop. Do not strip every last bunch of grapes from the vines, and do not pick up the grapes that fall to the ground. Leave them for the poor and the foreigners among the living. I am the Lord your God." God gave instruction to those who have land to farm that when your harvest comes in, don't take it all, leave some for the poor. But He also gave instruction to the poor to go out and get the harvest. In both cases, God gave us instruction to care for His creation and each other. When we are obedient to God, He will bless us. In the book of Ruth, we see that Boaz followed God's instruction by allowing the poor to glean in his harvest fields. In result, he saw Ruth and they became one. In their union, the bloodline of Christ manifested. Why is food security an issue of faith? James 2:14-16 reads, "What good is it, dear brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith but don't show it by your actions? Can that kind of faith save anyone? Suppose you see your brother or sister who has no food or clothing, and you say, 'Goodbye, have a good day, stay warm, eat well,' but then you don't give that person any food or clothing. What good does that do?" Being followers of Christ, we are responsible to take care of each other. If our actions affect the livelihood of our neighbor or takes away from our neighbor, we are responsible to correct our actions. Even not taking action holds us responsible if our brother or sister lacks.
As we enter into the justice segment, I would like to challenge all who are listening to inform and make aware of the severity of food security. Choosing better food and campaigning for change in your neighborhood will alleviate and desirably maintain a healthier environment for not only us, but the world at large. In the article entitled, "What Does Justice Have to Do with Overcoming Poverty?" it speaks about the UN's endeavor in ending world hunger through the MDG's Millennium Development Goals in 2000. In the year 2010, some of the designated targets were accomplished. However, nations still suffer with hunger. In Numbers chapter 35, verse 8, it says, "While Israel was camped by Jordan on the plains of Moab across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, 'Command the people of Israel to give to Levites from their property certain towns to live in. These towns will come from the property of the people of Israel. The larger tribes will give more towns to the Levites, while the smaller tribes will give property in proportion to the size of his land.' God orders his people to give of their inheritance. Those who possess much must give much, and likewise those who possess little will give little. It is God's desire for all of us to flourish. However, he desires to bless others through whom he blesses."
So as you can see, we're right here in front of the Christmas tree, and you know Christmas is about to get underway, and New Year's is right around the corner. And this is a time where people set new goals for themselves and new resolutions. So we want you to take all of the knowledge that we brought forth and consider what we said, and to make a New Year's resolution to make healthier choices when it comes to your diet.
I'm going to go back to the basics. Instead of buying just anything out of the supermarket, out of a package, I'm going to look into getting stuff out of farmers markets and making stuff of my own, and then sharing it with others.
I'll say for me, my first action step would be to change in the way changing my promoting of what we just talked about. Me and studying about this and hearing what my friends have to say, it made me more aware of the severity of my actions and how even me, what I do, it can make a change, whether good or bad, for the environment.
I believe what I would like to change within myself, and hopefully everyone that are listening will be able to make a decision on their health. As we stated previously in our presentation, that the foods that we eat, we concentrate on fast foods because we're always out and about. However, there are different ways we can cook at night and take lunch and whatever it is that we need to do to make sure that we're eating healthier than we used to. I should say, go to farmers market. I would like to move forward in this coming year to do better.
Awesome.
And I would like to add on to that. Like I would really like to partner with different organizations that are local within urban areas that are really making a conscious effort of making these healthy choices readily accessible to low-income residents. So I don't know, whatever that looks like, I would like to participate with an organization that is having that type of effort.
Sounds good.
I would just like to say also with Michelle Obama, she's doing an excellent job on promoting healthy eating. So as parents, it would be very helpful if we can just jump on board and educate our children because they're generations upon generations that have to face whether it's the poverty issue or whether it's obesity issue, but we need to stop it and stop it now. So we need to educate ourselves as well as our community.
It's time to go back to Eden by reclaiming dietary health through food security.